Mr. Speaker said. And let me thank you very much for allowing me to stand in this house, most likely, definitely for the last time. And I thought I could just say a few words before I leave this home, Mr. Speaker, that I've called home for the past 21 years. It would have been unfair if I had just disappeared. I found it very interesting, Mr. Speaker, when I went into the Constitution to look for what happens in circumstances where a member of Parliament has lost their seat, where a member of Parliament has not necessarily been called, or has not necessarily died. Our Constitution does provide for it in 129G. But what it does not provide, what we have not provided for in this House, probably because we have always made an assumption that members of Parliament will only live under those circumstances. Our standing rules and orders provide for a maiden speech, Mr. Speaker, but it does not provide for a farewell speech. And I think in circumstances where members of Parliament have decided to voluntarily leave, we should provide for such in our standing rules and orders. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I do not want to take too much of your time because it has been a privilege. It's not supposed to be a debate. I just said that there were a few things that I needed to bring to the House. Mr. Speaker, I came to this House in my late 20s. And this House has evolved in an amazing way. I remember coming into this House as only 7 female members of the opposition. Some of them, I'm glad, are here. Dr. Kupe, Honorable Dr. Kupe, Honorable Kariwa, others have not left the House. But Mr. Speaker, at the time that we came, the relationships were still very difficult in the House. But I remember even at that time, beginning to found what you now call the Women's Caucus. And I believe within that Women's Caucus that in spite of our political differences, we would still work together as women that will be representing the House. I will take that memory with me because at that time, it was unheard of for an opposition and those that were in the ruling party to be working together. There are a lot of things that we worked and delivered as a Women's Caucus. One notable one being the Sexual Offences Act, but most importantly, the one on marital rape, which we worked with Honorable Chinamasa, and we knew that our male colleagues were unlikely to agree to it, and decided that we were going to buy them drinks in the bar, which was now barred, but managed to pass that particular provision in the House. So I want to celebrate the women during that time that pushed it. It is now part of our side. Mr. Speaker, I am not only saying this because you are on the chair. The time that you have come in and have become the Speaker has fundamentally changed the way business is done in the House. Most importantly, allowing some of us to come and raise issues that normally would not have been accepted in this very House. And I want to celebrate you and thank you because we found a partner, I personally found a partner in the feminist issues that I strongly believed in. I remember the most important one was when you allowed me to come into this House holding a baby. Yes, I did not stay throughout, but you used that as an opportunity to speak to the issues that I think are critically important. And today, even as we speak in this old Parliament, we now have a room in which mothers who breastfeed can go and breastfeed. I'm just disappointed that the women that are in the House have decided that they don't want to use a lot of that and do not want to have babies. But indeed, the room is now available. Mr. Speaker, one of the things I've held very close to my heart in my 21 years have been issues around gender equality. And I know that most of the time when we speak about them, we do speak as if there are no males that have supported women and empowered them. I'm an example, Mr. Speaker, of men that have supported me and have seen some potential in me, have empowered me, and have held my hand. The first one, when I came into this house, like I said, is Dr. Zanu-PF. May his soul rest in peace. I am one of the first women, Mr. Speaker said, who chaired the now very important and always important Public Accounts Committee. No woman had ever chaired it. And as I was appointed to be the chair of the Public Accounts Committee through Morgan Tsvangirai. I then was brought back to the house through Professor Watchman Morgan. And I want to acknowledge him too, because it is him who made the appointment of me first as a negotiator, only female negotiator, but most importantly, as a minister in the GNU that we had. And I think I want to celebrate him too. Mr. Speaker, I now celebrate His Excellency, who has appointed me. Yes, I'm here not as a stranger, counsel, because I still have to sign my contract to accept the appointment. But those are 3 males, not females, that have seen potential. Initially in a very young woman at the time that Morgan Tsvangirai appointed me, but also now as I have matured and the president has seen in me, and I know that what we are finding in the social media is questions about, oh, but this is a person in the opposition. I think the very fact that somebody can sit down and decide that I think there is potential in that particular individual and make that appointment. Like I said, Mr. Speaker, Parliament has evolved during the time that I've been here. There is a time in which, in this very Parliament, people who are coming from the region that I represented were unable to speak in their language. I now am happy that when we sit here, people can speak in Tonga, people can speak in Sindebele, people can speak in Shona. And I celebrate that, because at the time that we came, that was not the issue. I also want to celebrate, in particular, the work ethic that has been shown by the staff members of this Parliament. I am concerned, Mr. Speaker, that their remuneration does probably not speak to the amount of work that they do. But in working with this Parliament, through the able leadership of the clerk, I have seen members of staff that have been respectful, that have been diligent. And I want to celebrate them because I carry that. What do I leave for honorable members and you, Mr. Speaker? What are the things that I hold so dear that I hope will be carried forward? I leave young women that have been provided for in the Constitutional Amendment number 2. At least I know that whatever happens, there will be 15 young women in 2023 that will be sitting in this house. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, that the mature women in the house will be able to hold their hands, will be able to carry them through, and that the men in this house, who I also have seen evolve and become more respectful, and are even speaking about sanitary wear. I hope that when they see these young women coming, those young women will get the same support that some of us got when we came into this house. Yes, we were entitled perhaps a bit more, but I'm expecting that what I have seen change in the men that are in this house will create a more facilitating and more comfortable space for the young women that will come to this house. What still tugs me is education, Mr. Speaker. The past 3 years that I've been chair of this portfolio committee, I carry that with me. I hope that this house does not stop the agitation around education for our people. I carry with me a prayer that government of Zimbabwe finds the space in which to engage with the teachers, because I think the teachers hold the key to this country. So I hope and pray that as I walk out of this house, teachers and their children will be one of the priorities that we have today. I've also learned, as I began to work in education, the importance of inclusiveness, particularly for people with disabilities, Mr. Speaker. So I carry with me a hope that this whole environment and the new parliament will become disability friendly. To ensure that that happens, you remember, Mr. Speaker, I brought to this house and had asked that we begin to have an oath that is in Braille. Because I think what we do sends a message on our inclusiveness. I realized that it has taken a bit of time for Parliament to do so. I proceeded as my go-away gift to do Braille oath, both the affirmation and the oath, and I leave it into this house. In case we have somebody who can't see, in memory of me and what this house is meant to be. Then lastly, Mr. Speaker, I would not be me if I don't give something big to the house. Can I please have that? One of the things.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.